The KU football program has hit the ground running in the 2022-23 transfer portal cycle. On Monday, KU picked up its first transfer of the new cycle, landing a commitment from Louisville offensive line transfer Kobe Baynes. And it's a big addition for KU for a few reasons, but before we dive into those, I think it's important to note that something smart that KU has done here in maneuvering a very short window in time when they're at an advantage compared to other schools. Right now, KU has open scholarships. They're not at the 85 cap, and across the country, you've seen programs take advantage of the removal of the incoming counter cap, which allows them to take as many players as they want in order to get up to the 85 scholarship number. But a program like KU now can add players until they get up to that point, and that's what they've done here. Someone like Kobe Baynes, who enters the portal during their preseason camp, will want to go to a new school because between now and December, when the semester ends, they will still be enrolled in classes, but there will be certain things that they cannot do. They cannot go to practice. They cannot work out with the team. And for someone like Baynes, they'll want to find a new home and try and get settled there before the start of spring practice in 2023. So as a result, KU can go to someone like Baynes and say, hey, we have a spot available. If you come and enroll now, you'll be able to be with the team. You can practice. You can weight lift, and you can really get settled so that when the spring starts and KU has an open spot on the offensive line because Robosic is gone, hey, you can come in and compete. Not saying that's the exact conversation KU had, but it's a good way to approach things, and it really allows them to get a player that if Baynes had waited until December, a lot more schools would have come in on and would have been a much tougher get for KU. But you've now seen KU last December really use the portal and pick up some starters, and then now this time, they're really maneuvering a very short window in time. They have until September 12th to add new transfers because that's the final day that people can enroll for classes at the University of Kansas. They'll need a petition, but it's easy to think that KU would pass something like that for, say, a football player. Now, let's get to Baynes, a player, because he offers KU a few things. And I like to think about it like this. Would Baynes have picked KU coming out of high school? You look at the offer list, the answer to that is no. He had over 20 offers and had some SEC offers, ACC offers, high-level schools, programs like Arkansas, Ole Miss, Florida State, Miami, all on him. And he picked Louisville in the end because he wanted to be a part of the building program. And that's one of the reasons why he picked KU. Now, you look at his skill set on the field, and he offers KU some versatility. He's 6'4", 300 pounds, has been in a college weightlifting program for 2 years, is in football shape because he went through fall camp, at least the first portion of it, with Louisville. So you look at him now coming to KU. What is KU getting? Well, they're getting a player that coming out of high school was thought of more as a guard. But when he got to Louisville, he played some tackle and was listed as a number 2 at right tackle on the Louisville depth chart. So he fits the mold of someone like Dre Warren from Buffalo, who played right tackle, but is now playing on the interior of the offensive line. Dominic Pooney from Central Missouri played some right tackle at the beginning of camp, but has really settled in on the interior, but he offers versatility as well. And so someone like Baynes offers that similar versatility in that he can play tackle, but he can also play guard. It's all going to depend on the adaptation process. Now, the elephant in the room here is his eligibility waiver. He has 4 years to play, including the 2022 season. So KU is going to do its best to get him eligible to play this year. They have to file for a waiver with the NCAA to allow him to play this year. Now, this comes from a rule that makes transfers who enter the transfer portal after May 1st, they have to sit a year because of the new transfer rules. Now, KU is going to try and get around that by going through the waiver process and saying that, hey, he should be able to play this year. We'll see if it passes. It's the NCAA, so to some degree, you never know. But if he is able to play this year, it's a huge addition because offensive line depth has been a huge talking point for this staff, even going back to spring practice. They've talked about feeling really good about 6 players, and now it's going to be 7 with guys like Dre Warren and Dominic Pooney there, and someone like Armaje Reed-Adams expected to slide into the starting 5. But now you look at him, Baynes coming in, and you think about KU's offensive line right now, and what do they need? Someone to play tackle. And you're not saying that Baynes would come in and start at tackle. No, you're not saying that, but you're saying that, hey, he'll come in and be able to provide some depth. There's also a certain level of familiarity here too. You look at the Louisville program, and they run an outside zone running scheme. which is the exact same scheme that KU runs as well. So there's already a certain level of familiarity here between the offensive schemes. Now, the terminology could be different. There could be different intricacies with the way that Scott Fuchs teaches, but something else that we'll write about later on Phog.net is that with Scott Fuchs, his teaching style is very simplistic, relies on basics. And so for someone that's been in a college program, there's reason to believe that the adaptation process may not be too tough. All right, let's say if the waiver process doesn't go through. Well, you now have a player who will have 3 years to play starting in the spring, and he'll be able to come in and continue to adapt. And okay, he can't play this year. It's not ideal, but it's still one of these long-term projections for KU. He'll have all season to work with the team. He'll be able to be on scout team, can help out some of those defensive players, go up against a guy that's played and been in a Power 5 football program before. And he'll be able to go through practice, adapt, and then springtime comes next year, boom, ready to hit the ground running and compete for a starting spot. So either way, this is a huge addition for KU, another really smart move from the KU staff. And I think as time has gone on, Lance Leipold and this staff have shown that they'll take different avenues to add new players, and this is certainly one of them. And overall, Baynes is a big-time addition. Can't say that enough. And the type of player that can really help elevate the offensive line room for KU. And he's the type of player that if this had happened in December, maybe he doesn't pick KU. But in the end, he's a Jayhawk. He's already on campus and will hopefully be in practice by the end of the week. We'll have to see on that. But again, overall, big addition for KU. And we do have an interview up on Phog.net where I spoke to Baynes, and you'll get to get his perspective on why he picked KU and how he did it without going on a visit. So as always, stay tuned to Phog.net for all the latest KU football, KU basketball, and recruiting coverage.